Alright, I'm boiling potatoes for making chorres de bodem June, and they have turned the water purple, which is very fun to look at. Alright, the chorres is finished. Chorres de bodem June. I had to use fresh limes instead of dried lemon balls, but other than that, I think I stayed pretty true to the recipe. Hopefully they like it. Oh yeah, we have to use short grain rice instead of long grain rice, so it's not going to be quite the same.
Isn't ideal.
So these guys are from the Netherlands, and they just told me something very interesting. Apparently in the Netherlands, the government subsidizes fully your education. They give you fully interest-free loans, but to pay for your entire education, like not just like $5,000 or whatever, like you need $40,000 for your loans, okay? But you can't buy a house until you've paid off all your student loans. And recently they changed it so that the loans were not interest-free anymore. They started adding interest, and people were very mad about that. But to be honest, I was thinking about it. I think people in the U.S. would much prefer not being able to buy a house and having completely subsidized interest-free loans with interest that are fully governmental, so you don't have to go to private institutions, and not being able to buy a house, rather than what we have currently, which is like, you know, you have to get your loans from a bunch of different places, and you can buy a house whenever you want if you have the money. Alright, one of the dogs is in labor. They're giving birth. Can't go near, but hopefully the next video you see is of the puppies.
Oh my gosh, look at these babies. Look at these tiny little puppies. They're so cute. Hi, Coffee. Yeah. Look at you, baby. So cute.
Playing a little game with the chicken on top of the fridge. Bit of a goose blockade on the road. Let's move him off. There we go. I haven't been filming it every time because, you know, it'd get kind of repetitive, but the rain has been like this at least some point in every day for the past week. It's never for the whole day, but always it's super intense at some point in the day. It's very, very rainy here. Doing the dishes. Look at how perfectly this old cake of coffee comes out. I mean, it looks like cake. It's just been perfectly compacted onto the lid. That's the press. Oh, it's so beautiful. It looks like beautiful chocolate cake. And it smells really strongly of coffee. Such a perfect, like, smooth surface. Alright, so this is the coconut tree. And unlike the papaya tree, you can't just get a hook and pull down the coconuts because they're too firmly attached to the branch, and even if you were able to, they'd break when they hit the ground. So you need to climb up and cut the whole branch off and then slowly lower it. So I'd say you gotta harvest the coconuts, but I don't know if we can do that currently. Very interesting bug on the wall here. I thought originally it was just like a crack in the wall, but I realized it's just a massive bug. I don't think you're getting quite a sense of scale, but if I put my finger next to it, I think it's gonna fly away. So I don't know, let's see. Yeah, I mean, this thing is long. It's about as long as my pointer finger. Very interesting creature. There's a more close-up shot. So I've just learned something very interesting. Just chilling with the chickens right now. But apparently, because there's like a lot of hate between America and Cambodia towards America, I don't think is reciprocal, but when you are learning at any level, like kindergarten through college, when you are learning English, you can choose what accent of English to learn in this country. So every school will have an American English teacher, and then also a Canadian English and a British English and an Australian English teacher, and you can pick which accent you want. And because there's like a dislike of Americans, most people choose to learn English with an Australian accent, which is just really interesting. Alright, this is an altar to her father, which she cleaned off and talked to a little bit. And she also laid out 2 fresh cups of coffee and a fresh Danish for. I don't really get how food waste is ancestor worship, but I guess it is. Alright, gonna have to de-bean this netting here so all the stuff inside doesn't get choked out. It's a lot of beans. Apparently they're not edible. I think I'll do a time lapse of it. Alright, cleaned it off pretty nice now. She's looking good. So these have been here the whole time. I just haven't noticed them until now. But they're pretty cool. These coconuts have stuff growing from them. Isn't that neat?